brought the manuscript which was in the house of Hafsa radiyallahu anha as a reference, as a source, and he brought for every single verse that they need to bring 2 witnesses for each single verse.
Why is that Quraishi? He didn't say it's okay up to 7.
I just explained to you basically.
He didn't say it's okay up to 7.
He's not focusing, is
but
he?
Quraishi.
Okay, that's the point. When he said for the matters of dispute between this, we go back how the Quran, how the Quraysh was.
Should be alright, the others.
No. Why
up
is that?
To 7 accents, it should be alright. It should be okay. It is what's supposedly Muhammad said.
Let me tell you something. When you want to ask about a specialized subject, have the basic knowledge of the subject first. It seems that you don't even have the
he didn't say the basic knowledge.
Are you listening to what I'm saying?
He said Quraishi. Why not up to 7 dialects?
Knowledge on this subject, and you're asking on a specialized point on that subject. What I said earlier.
That's the historical criticism of Quran.
Listen.
Okay.
Where did you get the 26 Quran from? From which Muslim sources?
It doesn't have to be Muslim.
No, you mentioned 26.
Today,
Did this
26
number?
different Qurans are in the market.
Listen, that's not true.
Today, there are 26 different Qurans in the market.
That's not true.
I can prove it.
That's not true.
I can bring it next to you.
Okay,
next week.
bring me.
I can bring it.
Okay.
My question is,
No problem.
why Usman said Quraishi only?
No.
Okay.
What did
Because I've
exactly say?
said
Uthman didn't say
the
Quraysh
Medinan
only.
should be alright.
Okay.
The accent,
No,
okay.
What did he exactly say?
Why is it
Uthman didn't say
up
Quraysh
to
only.
7 different recitations?
What did he say
that's
exactly?
different recitation.
You're mixing up so many things in your own words, which is
Either,
not in the
I have said, listen, either Uthman knew
Excuse me.
there is a contradiction.
Where did Uthman say what you say you claim he said?
Listen,
Can you open up?
it's in your source. It's in your source.
No,
I'm
open up.
in my library.
Open up.
Here.
You know there is a hadith.
Here.
Listen.
Relax.
Listen.
We will show you exactly what you said. No, relax. Relax. No, not 1 second.
let me speak, man.
Relax. No. Relax. Relax means don't speak. So he's grouping
Why
up.
shouldn't speak?
Because
I'm
you
making
just
my point.
No, you're waffling.
You speak more
It's
than
called waffling. Don't
You're
waffle.
waffling to me.
No, I'm asking you to
It
quote
doesn't
the
make
reference.
sense.
Listen.
You're not explaining my
There it
point.
is.
Listen, I will just bring you. What happened at the time of Uthman radiallahu anhu? Firstly, he made a committee, not himself, he said. Who's this committee?
Concentrate.
Who is this committee? Who are they?
It's no committee. It's only one. It's Saeed.
No.
No, when you say committee,
I will bring
it means
you.
more than one people.
زيد بن ثابت عبد الله بن الزبير
Listen.
وسعيد بن العاص
Because I'm going to quiz you, test you on that.
بن هشام. And as well, here you could look at this. He brings this committee. Who are those? Those are the same one who used to write the Quran at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, I got
Not
it.
just
you haven't got it
the
yet.
Quran, not just they memorize the Quran. They used to write at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, and then he gave to Zayd ibn Thabit and the Qurashiyin the 3 manuscripts that he has, which was with Hafsa. So Hafsa, she had 3 manuscripts was written. So he gave them, and then he called them. He told them to write the Quran how it was written exactly in the manuscript. So those manuscripts, yeah. So unfortunately, at that time, these manuscripts, what he said to them, he said, إذا اختلفتم, if you have dispute between you and Zayd, dispute on what? On sometimes, for example, at that time, the manuscript.
There was a contradiction.
Hold on a second. No, not contradiction. Sometimes some of these disputes could be, this manuscript, they are old. There could be ink being on it or something like that. Anything could happen, because at the end of the day, those are not necessarily are those are papers. So what he said, if there is anything that you find there is a dispute between them.
Can you read
he said إذا اختلفتم أنتم وزيد, if you dispute between you and Zayd ibn Thabit in anything in the Quran, then write it in the tongue, on the way how it was, or the tongue of Quraysh, because it was revealed how on the tongue of Quraysh initially. So what's the
Why
meaning
is
of this?
discriminating other accents?
He's not discriminating.
Yeah.
Why
not 7? He can say,
because here,
listen, beside Quraishi, it's okay, the next one.
Yeah, here.
Up to 7.
I gave you the proof what it means. Do you understand what it means? Try to listen.
Why not up to 7? Muhammad said it's been revealed in 7 dialects.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
now,
why Osman is restricting?
Okay. He is not
listen, either that 7 recitation was allegedly made by Muhammad, was fabricated, or There was a serious
It's not
discussion.
fabricated.
There was a serious
It's a mutawatir
controversy.
hadith. Do you know what a mutawatir
in
hadith is?
Osman was aware of.
No, that's not true. And you lie now.
No.
Going back.
This hadith
Why
is
you would say
mutawatir.
that?
This one.
Because he knew there was a contradiction.
No, that's not. He didn't
Why
say
you would
contra-
say it then?
He didn't say contradiction.
There was a problem
Where
there.
did he say contradiction?
He said if you disagree,
Disagree, not
Yeah.
contradiction.
disagree
In writing.
among Muslims.
Is that controversial? Hold on a second. What do you mean by
Disagree
contradiction?
in recitations.
Oh, no, not recitation. In
Why
the
not?
manuscript.
Okay, it's okay
the
in another
manuscript.
dialect.
In the manuscript.
Why? Why didn't say collect for me 7 different Qurans?
Yeah,
Because there's
those
only one
are-
Quran.
there's one
How can
Quran.
he say 7 Qurans when there's only one? Do you get
Okay,
it?
that seven allegedly made by Muhammad
What's
was
allegedly made?
fabricated.
No.
Yeah, well, you have to
Okay, listen.
bring the evidence for the 7
It's
recitations.
quite interesting how a speaker's corner Christian muhaddis, self-acclaimed, doesn't even know that this hadith is what is known as the hadith about
Yeah.
how the Quran was revealed in 7 ahruf is mutawatir. So many different companions have narrated it and it's been authenticated. It's an authentically reported, mass transmitted hadith.
Yes.
We call it mutawatir hadith. You come along and say maybe it's forged. You live in planet Mars, maybe
These two
not on planet
hadiths
Earth.
contradict
minimum,
each other.
I will tell you something. You know, at least
When Muhammad
we have
said,
something. We have something.
listen,
we have
I
something.
remember the hadith. He
Okay.
says somebody was praying, there was another one next to him. He heard him, and then he did not agree with what he knew. He took him by his
Umar Khattab.
jumper.
And he went to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
So Muhammad,
yeah, let's hear it.
And they both recited. He said, yours correct. And then he said, that is correct. And how comes? He said, well, it's been revealed in 7 different dialects.
Example.
Right.
Example.
Okay,
فتبينوا
what I'm saying,
فتثبتوا.
apparently,
Example.
these two guys had different dialects.
No.
Because they're not reading anything.
No,
Not dialect.
this has nothing to do with dialect.
No.
That's what he said.
This one example has nothing to do with
listen,
dialect.
listen, they are not reading anything. They are praying. The
No.
differences
No, he
can
was not
only be
praying.
either accentual
You know the problem?
or
Do you know what the problem is?
Listen.
The hadith goes like this.
When they went to Muhammad, Muhammad
Listen,
said,
listen.
it has been revealed in 7.
Okay.
What I'm saying, listen, these guys were not reading a text.
So what were they doing?
They were reading from memory when they prayed.
And did they memorize what they're what they're
And
reading?
apparently, they did not agree each other.
Listen.
When they went to Muhammad,
Umar bin al-Khattab,
Listen,
so
when they
Hisham
went
bin
to
Hakim,
Muhammad,
radiyallahu
Muhammad-
anhum, right? Both of
Wait.
them.
Try to listen.
Muhammad
Listen,
said
listen. We
there
could
are
shout.
7
We
different
could shout.
recitations.
Listen.
Right.
We could shout
Wait,
and we
wait,
could
wait.
raise our voice over
Let
to
me
you.
speak.
Listen, before you speak, you need to listen as well. So since you raised this,
Because
you
you're
cannot just leave it.
confused on this
And
matter, let us try to help you.
We need to respond to each point that you
I'm
said.
trying to help you.
Okay.
Let us
No,
help.
then we
Let
don't need
us
your help.
try to
I'm not-
help
you don't know what
because
it
you're
means when two
confused.
people read, don't
Okay,
agree.
listen carefully.
Do you know what it means?
Can you
when
please-
two
can
people
you
read the
please-
same
You know what?
Quran,
How
can
but they
we
don't
talk
agree.
to you?
Again.
And Muhammad
When-
said, both of them
Again,
agree.
willing to understand.
Again, you don't want to listen. If someone
Listen, man,
recited,
it's
if someone recited, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. And another person said, فتثبتوا. So we have different words. So both of them for the listener, there's different words here. What's the meaning of this? So the Umar Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he heard this, he went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he took this one. He said, I heard him saying such and such. For example, I give you one example. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, recite for me, and then he recited. And then he said to Umar Khattab, recite for me. He said both of them. That's how it was revealed. Now, how we understand that? فَتَبَيَّنُوا means clarify. فَتَثَبَّتُوا means get confirmation. So both of them they have the same meaning.
No.
Not
These
the same
guys,
meaning.
if these guys
Listen.
had a disagreement,
Listen. They have this, even though the disagreement is not like what
okay,
you said.
where is these 7
You
Qurans?
claim,
Let me
you
respond to
claimed
you.
that
Let me
it's
respond to you,
controversial.
right?
And which is
Okay,
totally,
where is these 7 Qurans
which is
proclaimed
totally
by Muhammad? Where is it?
misrepresented. It's totally
Where are they?
misrepresented.
Relax.
Okay, the other thing, why we go around? I mean, do you have authentic Bible yourself?
Yes.
Where is it? Which one?
Now I'm on electronic. It's in my phone.
Which one? Electronic.
Well, normally I read ESV or NIV.
In which language?
Sorry?
Which language?
I read 3 languages.
Which language is the Bible that you have?
I read English, Turkish, Kurdish.
So you have English. So did Jesus speak English or Turkish or Kurdish?
No.
So where is the Bible then? Where's the original one? Where did you get this from?
What do you mean?
Where's the original one? The original Bible?
The first written skin?
Yeah.
Yeah, written.
Where is it?
Worn off. They made a copy. They made a translation.
But
I don't want
that's not
that.
English. But that's not the English.
No, I don't want that.
But that's not English, isn't it?
No,
You don't have. Can I know even the people who wrote the Bible?
I don't want Arabic.
Okay, the people who wrote the
don't want
Bible.
Arabic.
Why
I
we
want
go
my
around?
language.
Why we go around and still criticize? Let's talk about the Bible now. The people who wrote the Bible, did they mean Jesus'
No,
Bible?
you didn't answer me. Where are 7 Qurans?
Okay, I'm telling you.
Muhammad confirmed
Okay.
there are 7
Where
Qurans.
is the original
Where
Bible?
are they?
Where is the original Bible? It's with the
I
original
don't
Bible.
have to have it. You
Where
must
is
have
it?
it.
Why must have it?
Yeah, because you say it's never been changed.
Where is it?
I'm
Do
telling you,
do
we are
claim the Bible?
permitted to copy
Do
it, but you're not.
Do you claim the Bible wasn't
Where did you
changed?
get that from?
Do you claim the Bible wasn't changed? Do you claim the Bible wasn't changed? Do you?
Listen.
I think he accepts
Listen,
Bible's changed.
listen.
Do
Right.
you, listen, let's be fair. If you say this and if you tell me now, yes,
Where
I
is your
accept.
7 Qurans?
Okay, I will answer you after you answer my question.
Can you prove
I will answer
you
you.
have 7 Qurans?
I will answer you. Now, do you believe?
Yes or not?
Do you
So
confirm?
that was a fabricated hadith.
Do you confirm that the Bible is fabricated and changed?
No,
No? Is it the same?
no.
Is
I
it the
don't
same?
have to have the same.
What do you mean you don't
No, I
have
have to translate it.
You came to criticize Islam. You came to
No,
criticize
no. Bible
Look at yourself.
says, Bible doesn't say we have 1 recitation or 7.
Okay, what do you have?
So can I come back to his
What do they have?
the example?
That's it, you
What
can
do they have?
translate it.
I just want to come
What
back
do
to the
they have?
example.
Well,
Okay,
my
listen.
standard for my Bible
What is
fits
it?
to the one I have today.
Okay.
Okay,
But your stand-
what's your standard?
No, you said
What's your standard?
Muhammad said
What does it have?
7 recitation.
What is your standard?
Where
He doesn't have one.
Okay, hold on. What's your standard for the Bible?
it has to be translated to the local people.
Which one? Translate from what?
Now we got 3,000 Bibles.
Okay, from what? Original language. We know if you translate a joke from Turkish to English, it doesn't sound nice, isn't it? Even a joke.
No,
it
it's
doesn't
even
sound
worse
nice.
from Arabic.
Yeah, even worse from Arabic. Yeah, even worse from Arabic.
You're funny, you know.
So even worse from Arabic.
funny.
Even worse from Arabic. Any language, if you translate even a joke from a language to another language, it doesn't sound funny because it doesn't add up. So here, my question is, how the word of God that you have is what you claim is, and it's not in the original language.
It's translatable. My
How is
Bible,
it?
So you've
How
lost
is it?
your
How
original
is it?
Bible.
So you
You've
don't have
lost the
your
original.
Bible.
I don't have to have it.
So you've lost it.
I don't have to have it.
So you've lost it,
Yeah,
right?
even about
So-
it,
you
I've
trust-
been it.
So you have no
How do you
original.
trust
People
the
not,
original translation?
people burn it.
So how do you know the ones
They
you
don't
have
copy.
actually copies of the original? How do you know they are copies of the original? Authentic
Why
ones?
I
How do
shouldn't
you
know? I know it's in the church. It's in the hand of the Christians. They copy it
what?
for the
So
new
what?
ones,
And
for
the
their
Christians-
people, for the
and we have
tribe,
thousands.
And did
for
the
the
Christians fabricate books of
saying-
hadith, books of your Bible?
We have your original Quran. Where is your first Quran?
We have.
Where is Osman? Where is it?
We have.
One second, one second.
Hey, no, it's not.
Manuscript in Sana'a.
No, it's
70
short.
Hijri. No?
No. Isn't the one in Tashkent?
No.
It's 46.
No, not the one in
Surah.
Tashkent.
The one in Istanbul is
I know who has been
Okay.
brainwashing you, so don't worry about
I
it.
know you don't have your original
One
Quran.
second.
Why are you asking me?
I'll tell you one by one.
You
One by
don't
one.
have your original
One by one.
Quran.
Firstly,
End of the question.
But we
firstly,
have memorized the Quran from the
Because
first
you are
time.
illiterate.
Of course. Wow, so what?
Okay.
What's the problem?
It's all done.
What's the problem?
It's a problem.
What's the problem?
now Sheikh, I'm
What
going
is
to
your memory?
What about
what he's
what
talking
about?
Muhammad, even Muhammad said, I forgot the hadith.
Who said?
I forgot the ayat.
Who said that?
Muhammad said that.
Now you lie.
Yeah, there is a hadith. Muhammad forgot half of the
he's gonna bring-
Surah Nisa.
He's going to bring. Let's focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Now my question is if one forget
Muhammad
yes, okay.
said, Satan talk to me.
One forget
Really
yes.
trust memory.
One forget yes.
What a liar you are!
Three
I'm
forget
not.
yes.
When did he say
Muhammad said, I forgot half
When
of
did
the
he?
hadith.
When did
They
Prophet say
slept in
Shaitan
a
spoke to me?
room. They woke up in the morning and they forgot the hadith, the ayah. I mean the surah.
Okay.
Okay.
It is
I
better.
think it's Surah Nisa.
It is better because the thing is
Let me handle
I
him
think
for
it's
just
Surah
3 minutes.
Nisa.
Now, listen carefully. Firstly, when you said two companions, listen carefully, don't interrupt. When two companions, what were they doing? It was Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, Hisham bin Hakim radiallahu anhu. So Hisham bin Hakim was reciting in his prayer. What was he reciting? He was reciting Surah Al-Furqan. Which surah? Surah number 25. Are you listening? I'm going to quiz you on this one because I want you to concentrate and focus. I'm not going to just say because and then you don't hear anything. Yeah? So which surah was he reciting
Surah
his prayer?
25.
Surah 25. Now, how did Umar know he was reciting Surah 25? Because the overall, the surahs are not entirely different. But he noticed there are some differences between them. as he was reciting. So he was about to grab him, but he let him finish his prayer. And then he said, okay, let me take you to the Prophet. Who taught you? He didn't say, oh, what were you reciting? Because he knew that what he was reciting is what he has been taught by the Prophet ﷺ. That's why he wanted to confirm, who taught you this surah that you were reciting this prayer? He said, it was Prophet ﷺ. He says, no, the Prophet taught me differently.
Thank you.
Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Then they said, okay, let's go to the Prophet. So they both went to the Prophet ﷺ. And then they narrated the story, and the Prophet said, okay, Hisham, recite. He recited, and the Prophet said, هكذا أنزلت. This is how it was revealed. And then he said to Umar radiallahu anhu, recite. And he recited and says, this is how it's revealed. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our Prophet, confirmed both of this recitation they were reciting has been revealed like that. And he approved of both of them. So what you now need to understand is, when we recite with these different of recitation, these recitations, they emanate from the 7 ahruf. Now the scholars have explained what the 7 ahruf may mean, whether it means, because the Arabic people at that time, they were not like one tribe. Various tribes with the linguistic nuances between them. Some of them could not pronounce ayn or even ha. They could not even say hatta, they would say hatta, for example, right? This is the difficulty they had. Some of them, when they were speaking, they would use a singular word. Other tribes would prefer to use a plural word for it, because that's how they speak. When you say a book, you mean a book, but some people say no, it's books. The Bible is not one book, it's books. So Arab at that time, different tribes, different people, young, old, women, elderly, they had the linguistic differences between them, right? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wanted all of them to get the message of the Quran.
Allah wanted.
Yep, from Allah. So he allowed, with the permission of Allah, and he taught them in the way was easier for them. That is what we call one harf. So this harf or that harf, in its plural form is called ahraf. 7 harfs or 7 ahraf. So this is how the Quran was recited and people learned. When Uthman radiallahu anhu, when he compiled,
Yes, Mr. Sheikh, how are you doing, sir?
what was he doing? He was writing in a particular way
Right, you know.
in which
You're talking, oh, wow.
it would accommodate as many of the 7 possible. The scholars would say,
7.
are you listening? Some scholars would say all of the 7 is incorporated within this Uthmanic consonantal skeleton or the Rasm Uthmani. Others will say as much as it allows, because we know this is maybe something news to you. When a particular recitation from the harf was not being able to write in one mushaf alone, he would write it in a different mushaf in that way. For example, he would write wa wassa in one manuscript, wa wassa and wa awsa. Clearly alif is different than here. You cannot have wa wassa read as wa awsa. It's impossible. So that was written, we know which manuscripts, whether it was in Sham, in Mecca, in Basra, in Medina, in Kufa. He made those differences, but we say each of these recitation is the permissible, authentic recitation from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The condition number 1 was to accept these authentic narrations, 10 of them. Number 1, it has to be, well, it's not the first condition. One of these conditions out of the 3 is it has to be based on the Uthmanic consonantal skeleton. The first condition, it has to be musnadan from the Prophet. It has to be
People, they have to hear it from the
it has
Prophet
to be
sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
transmitted with a chain back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it has to be in the acceptable Arabic language. These conditions have to be met. So these 10 qira'at, they have chains all the way back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you say hafs, for example, hafs, listen, no, but it's important for you to understand. Hafs, where did Hafs learn his recitation from?
Iraq.
Hafs from Asim. Where did Asim learn his recitation from? From his teacher. So whether it goes back to As-Sulami, Abdurrahman As-Sulami, and all the way back to Ali radiallahu an, or Abdullah bin Mas'ud, and so on. So we have a continuous chain of narration. People who memorize, I encourage you to visit Al-Muntada in Parsons Green, where within, listen, patience, because you need to learn. If you go
to learn, I come to remind you your mistake.
Careful. If you go to Al-Muntada, they have an institute called Al-Shatibi Institute. This Al-Shatibi Institute, they teach 10 Quranic recitation with scholars, and once you have done your learning and you have an exam done and so on, they will give you an ijaza, a certificate with these chains of narration from the teacher who has taught you to all the way back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I know you're being impatient, but you need to learn. So the 10 qira'at that we have, they're not same as 7 ahruf. The qira'at comes from the ahruf. Yep. Do you know the difference now? So how the 10 qira'ah has come to us, it is not fabricated. It is consistently mass transmitted.
Do you have evidence for 7 qira'at?
Yes.
More than 7.
Where are they?
The 10 recitation.
Where?
The 10 recitation now.
You have to name it. This one. When you give a specific number, you have to substantiate it with the volume.
Yeah, the 10 recitation.
You don't have it.
No,
okay, let me
what we don't have about the 10
based
qira'at?
on your preaching, I want to make another question.
What did we not have on the 10 qira'at?
You don't have 7 qira'ats. Where are they?
I'm saying 10.
You have only one.
Get your facts right. 10 reading of the one Quran. There is only one Quran, but
where is
it
the
can be
qira'at?
read.
What is qira'at?
Is the qira'at?
I just
What?
told you. You
Where
can
are
read.
7?
You can read it in 10 different
Okay, you
ways.
have to name recitation.
Hold
When
on.
you say a recitation,
Let me give an example.
you are referring to a tribe.
Listen.
You are referring to an accent.
No,
Yes, what is it then?
you were not listening, were you?
What is it? What?
Were you
Okay.
here before when he
Did you listen to when the Sheikh says فَتَبَيَّنُوا and فَتَثَبَّتُوا?
Listen, you must give me time to speak.
1 second.
I mean, it's become 10 minutes.
Moment.
Listen, I want to speak.
When the Sheikh said فَتَبَيَّنُوا is a word, and he said فَتَثَبَّتُوا, listen carefully. Is فَتَبَيَّنُوا and فَتَثَبَّتُوا same accent, different accent, or a different word?
It's probably a different word. You have to say that. I don't understand Arabic.
He's telling you
that's the point.
it's a different word.
You don't understand Arabic, and you can't.
So it's
It's
not
a
for me.
synonym.
That's the
So
point.
our religion is not for me.
No, it is for everyone, but you
No,
need to
it-
learn. You need to
What it
learn.
means, what it
You
means.
need to
What
learn.
does it mean?
It means which one?
What does it mean? What you have just read?
فتبين. By the way, I said it to you. فتبين means to clarify. فتثبتوا to get confirmation. Those both of them are
Complementary.
They complement each
No, I
other.
didn't ask that.
Yeah.
I said, where is your 7 recitation, 7 Quran? Where are they?
They are.
Are you
Listen,
having
when
a
you say
problem in listening to what we said?
recitation, when you say recitation,
One moment. Are you having a problem with what we said?
This
I'm saying
recitation.
10
which we have, the 10
qira'at.
okay,
qira'at.
let me make your the other question.
Don't say 7
When two
Quran.
to-
10 qira'at.
Listen.
10
When-
readings.
Please. When these 2 guys went to Muhammad and they
Yeah.
got confirmed,
Yep.
it was revealed in yours, and then he revealed even the others. Right. That's fine. Do you have evidence
That's the evidence.
Jibreel, when he was talking to Muhammad, each time he spoke a different way?
He didn't speak a different way.
Yeah.
It's still Arabic language.
How come? He's only one.
Still Arabic
How
language.
come you can say it's different way? No.
Arabic language.
So Muhammad corrupted it.
Still Arabic language.
So Muhammad corrupted it.
No, it was revealed.
If
No.
Jibreel, he said it was revealed. Each
Sheikh,
time Jibreel.
Don't listen.
I'm
Don't
gonna
listen.
So Jibreel,
Make him move
each
shortly.
time, do you have evidence Gabriel was revealed
We
to
heard you,
Muhammad
we heard you.
each time
We
in
hear
different
you.
accent?
We hear you. Okay, now listen now. You bring me the same example. Listen,
You know what a
listen.
strawman argument is?
Listen,
It's
listen,
not
listen. Okay.
Muhammad.
You are a
corrupted it.
master of
Okay, good.
strawman
All right,
arguments.
okay,
you're
listen,
insulting.
listen, listen.
You're insulting.
All right, all right,
insulting.
listen,
You
listen.
are insulting.
Listen. You asked the question, yeah? You asked the question, let me answer you. But please do not interrupt me, yeah? You said there 2 people came to the Prophet ﷺ, yes? The same hadith, the same one.
Yeah. Okay.
They came to the Prophet ﷺ, and one of them recited it, and the other one recited it. And he said, this is how it was revealed to me.
Okay.
So,
What am I correct?
hold on a second. You asked a question. Do we have a proof that the Prophet got it from Jibreel? He is saying this proof, the same hadith.
Why two different ways?
Hold on, because Allah wants.
Now he's changing the goalpost.
Once you
answer him and get defeated,
let's answer one
he
by
now
one.
ask a different question.
No, listen.
Jibreel was talking to Muhammad
Listen.
in two different ways.
Go back. No.
That's
Go
the
back.
question.
Yes, yeah, the same hadith.
If not, Muhammad was correcting
Okay,
you.
the same hadith that you brought, which you said you accepted it before, which is that the Prophet when they came to ask the Prophet he said that how it was what revealed to me from
I got it.
from
Do you
Allah.
have the evidence
So
for that?
he is saying not even the same one. It's the same what you used.
It's not the same.
Which
Two
goes-
different ones.
Yeah,
It's
you understand?
not. No, two different ones.
Hold
Do
on
you
a
have
second.
the evidence?
We are wasting his valuable
was talking
time.
to Muhammad in different way each time.
Listen.
If not, Muhammad was corrupting it.
That's hadith.
That's
the
very
same
clear.
one.
Thank
The
you.
same
Do
hadith.
you have it or not?
The same hadith.
Do you have the evidence?
The same
Do you
hadith.
have the 7 Qurans?
I
No.
think at the end of the day, I think the
Yeah,
problem is,
okay.
I think the problem is
Okay.
comprehension.
No, Mansur, you have to be honest.
No, I think you
The same
have
hadith.
difficulty in
Listen.
comprehending
Hadith
what
is
we're saying.
fabricated.
Okay.
Seven
Now,
Qurans
hold on a
are
second.
fabricated.
So it's fabricated.
You don't have the evidence.
How do you know?
You don't have
How
evidence
do you
for
know?
7
How
Qurans.
do you know?
You don't have
How
it.
do you know?
Bring me the evidence.
How do you know?
Bring me the evidence.
How do you know?
Oh, come on, I'm
How do
asking
you
you.
He keeps on saying 7
How do you
Quran.
know?
We're saying no, there is no such thing as
You
7
don't have
Quran.
it. It's not substantiated.
Listen.
It's not academic.
I think.
It's just made up.
I think.
You have to prove it.
You don't understand.
You're an academic person.
Okay.
You read a law book.
If you are, are you
And you have to prove it.
Focus.
You have lots of books in your possession.
Listen.
You have to bring me the evidence.
Hold on.
How comes Muhammad
All right.
would confess to
Okay.
the
Now listen. This is not the point. Going back, I told you. You asked the question as follows. This is his question. Yeah. You asked, how do you know that Jibreel said to Muhammad this Qur'an? Yeah. That was your question. I answered you the same hadith that you brought. That the two men, they were disputing about the recitation. They came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said to them, you recite to me. And then the first one recited. And then he asked the second person, you recite to me. Then he said, this is how it was revealed on me. And then he said to the other one, this is how it was revealed on me. Who is narrating this? The same companion who heard the Prophet ﷺ saying how it was revealed to him. Now, and they accepted it. Now, the companion, they accepted the truthfulness of the Prophet ﷺ, and that's why they accepted the Quran, because it came challenging them with their own language. No, listen, you didn't get it. So they challenged them with their language. They challenged them in the miracles in the Quran. So when they found this holy book, which it can't be written by or said by a normal human being, they accepted Islam. And they knew before that the Prophet ﷺ for 40 years, they experienced with him that he was a truthful person all the time. So when he came to them, about his prophethood ﷺ, they accepted that. Now they don't need to go, let me see, is Jibreel with you? Show me where is Jibreel to tell me. That's not the way. They accepted this.
If it's not the same.
No, it is the same as long as it is with these conditions that he has mentioned.
There is not the evidence
So firstly,
different recitation from Jibreel. So Muhammad was correcting it.
I said to you now. I said to you now. Now listen.
I really appreciate you.
And we are not appreciating.
When the Sheikh finishes,
Congratulations.
Listen.
You quiet now.
firstly,
And the same thing.
don't have evidence.
So we brought this. So we brought
fabricated.
So we brought
Muhammad teaching each person in different ways.
You could shout.
He was correcting
Yes. You could shout more. Going back. You could shout more. It doesn't. You could shout more. It doesn't make you the other.
if you want to learn about our tradition, at least pay some attention.
Even
I have probably
you don't have even. Listen to this.
You're
Listen to this.
a scholar, right?
Independent.
Listen to this. Now someone,
Not like
we do not even. By the way, we have these 4 gospels in the Bible. Yeah. Who narrated them? Who narrated these 4 gospels?
Sorry?
The 4 gospels in the Bible. Who narrated them?
That's not an issue for Bible.
Okay, hold on. Who narrated them?
Bible doesn't say that.
Bible can be co-op, it's not an issue for him.
It doesn't.
No, it's not.
Bible can be from Satan,
No.
it's not an issue for him.
Say we have one recitation.
Hold on a second. Can I know?
Apparently,
Hold on.
Muhammad either was lying there
Okay.
by teaching each person different way, or
Okay, the question
Then you
is.
don't have the evidence
Hold on a second.
for different recitation. Was
Do you,
revealed.
do you think yourself?
Thank you.
Do you
Bye-bye.
think yourself you are more
How
clever?
come you still stand in
Do
front
you
of me?
think? Do you think? What
You don't have answer.
Are you
Do you
listening to
think
the
yourself-
Sheikh?
Yeah.
Do you think
Sheikh,
you are?
just keep talking.
Do you think yourself?
you.
Do you think
Why you
yourself?
never give me time?
Listen,
I
listen.
gave him half an hour.
So you
Do you
even
think-
listen to him?
Still he's
Hold on
talking
a second.
alongside me.
Do you think?
You have to
do
give me
you,
time, Sheikh.
Do you think
You have
yourself?
to be polite.
Okay. Do you
You have
think?
to be polite when I speak.
Polite.
No, you never give me time.
Do you think?
You started, you never stop.
Do you think
I-
yourself?
He's
Do
not
you
even
think
listening
yourself
to anything
you
you're
are
saying.
cleverer than 120,000 people who knows the Arabic
Surely I'm
language?
clever than Muhammad. He was
Listen,
lying there.
Listen.
He was lying.
If you insult the Prophet sallallahu alaihi
Why did the
wasallam,
hadith
listen. If you insult the Prophet, listen.
Thank you.
Again, listen.
Do you have the evidence
Listen.
of 7 Quran?
Hold on a second.
Do you have
Hold
the
on a second.
evidence of
You-
the recitation
Hey,
from
listen.
Jibreel?
Listen.
No.
Listen.
He was an illiterate nation.
Listen.
He was an illiterate prophet.
Listen, if you
Allegedly.
listen, before we were respecting you, listen to me. Before we were respecting you, because we came and
you keep
we
talking.
came in academic.
Stop.
We
I
came
have to
in
speak.
academic discussion. If you insult the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are no one before me. So please be respectful when you speak about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You have to be respectful about
don't
him.
respect
And
my
please,
God?
no, I don't listen. Then don't discuss with us. Please get away from us. Either
You lost.
you have a respectful
You lost.
discussion.
Zoom in his face.
Either you have a respectful discussion with us,
Wait a minute,
or
are
we
you
don't.
pointing me?
We are not.
Zoom in his face.
Are you pointing me?
Yes. Yeah, I'm pointing like this. Yes.
Are you pointing me?
Yeah.
Are you pointing me?
going back.
Pointing at
Going back.
me.
Zoom in.
Zoom in.
Going back.
Are you pointing me?
Going back to the name.
He
To the
forgot,
name thing.
Muhammad forgot the surah.
Okay.
Why you didn't ask the Jibreel again?
Allah reminded him. It's fine.
Why you didn't
Allah
ask him?
reminded-
Can you tell me again?
Allah reminded him. Now,
If Jibreel was
Okay.
going to keep repeating,
all right. Going back.
then
Going
the
back.
hadith,
Going
Muhammad
back.
forgot
Going
half
back.
of the surah.
Going back.
Why you didn't ask him
Going
again?
back. That's not. You're a liar. That's
Why
not.
you didn't ask again?
No, you're a liar. Don't lie.
Mansur,
Don't lie.
you
Don't
are
lie.
an academic person.
Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie. You
You
don't
know
lie. You didn't need to lie.
that
You didn't need
Muhammad
to lie. You didn't need to lie.
forgot half of the surah.
That's a lie. What is this?
Why
What
you
is this?
didn't ask Jibreel again?
Where is this hadith?
If he was the one to
Where
keep
is this?
repeating.
Where is this? Where is this fabricated? Where is
can
this
bring
from?
it to you.
Bring it. Bring it.
No, I
Bring
don't-
it.
no, I
bring
don't have it here.
So you're a liar. Actually, bring it.
No.
You're a liar for
He
us.
knows it.
No. He doesn't
knows
know.
it.
You're a liar.
That's why he's quiet.
Now you're a liar.
Learn that.
Yes.
I'm being respectful to my Sheikh.
No, you don't.
When he's speaking,
He's not
I'm letting him
respecting
speak.
me.
So
You
listen,
never give
give
me
respect
time.
when he's talking.
When you
never
speak,
give me time. You never
I
give me
will
time.
give you time when you are a respectful person. When you
You don't respect me.
when you came
You
with the
never give me
humility,
time.
you have to come with the humbleness
Give me
and the
time.
humility. I will give you time, but you have to speak respectfully. Yeah, then you will have your time. So please,
Okay, when you
again,
gonna give me time?
Okay,
At
I will
what
give you
time?
now.
At
Now,
what time? What time you gonna give me time?
Okay.
Somebody have to keep hour.
all right, fine.
Keep talking. You never give me time. Mansur,
All right.
you have to be honest.
All right.
Tell him to give me time.
Fine.
Did you listen to what he said so far?
I have.
What did he say? Summarize.
have.
Summarize.
I have listened to him. He said
Summarize what he said.
it was revealed to Muhammad in 7 different accents, 7 different.
Nope, he didn't say that.
I didn't
You
say
have
that.
He didn't say
All
that.
right.
So you were lying on him, in front of him?
I don't agree.
Summarize.
I don't agree.
No,
what he said.
you just lied in front of his own face. So what did he say? Summarize.
Listen, I don't have to memorize what he said.
No, summarize.
I don't
in
have
your
to.
own words without lying.
No, I don't have to. He spoke. Thank you. Now
What
is
did
my
he
time to
say?
speak.
What did he say exactly?
I don't have to memorize what he said.
Do you even
I don't have to
remember
memorize.
anything he said?
I don't have to memorize.
Did you even remember anything he said?
He said it was revealed to Muhammad, and 2 guys came to him. He gave the name, which I don't remember.
Carry
I
on.
don't have to remember.
Carry on.
And he listened to both of them. He
And?
confirmed the both of them. And they said, how comes? And Muhammad said, well, it was revealed in 7 different ways. or
No,
accents,
no, he didn't say
whatever.
that. He didn't say that.
You say he said
He
that
did not say
they
that.
use Arabic words. which
No,
I
he
don't
did not
remember.
say that.
Yes.
So you were not listening. You were not paying attention. Now here is a free
I
advice
still
for
have
you.
the right to speak.
Listen, here is a free
I have the
advice
right
for
to
you.
speak.
Okay, are you listening?
Yeah.
Here is a free advice for you. When you are discussing
speaking
with
freely, I don't
someone,
charge you.
when you are discussing with someone, at least pay attention to the person you are speaking to and what you're listening from them. Pay attention. If you don't pay attention, you are not only you will miss what is being said, and you will keep parroting and repeating your same question again and again and again. That will show to the whole world, as they are going to see later on, some may be doing live, that you are not being very a sincere person. You did not come here to have a fruitful discussion so that we learn from each other. Instead, you came here with an agenda to insult our Prophet, which you did in the middle. Did at any one point in this discussion we ever insulted your Prophet Jesus or your God Jesus or your God? What did we say that became an insult?
No, you say he's not God. You say Jesus is not God.
Just by saying he's not God is an insult.
That's not no insult. When I say Muhammad is not a prophet, it's an insult.
No, that's not an insult.
Okay.
So you don't even know what insult means.
He's a prophet. That's up to you.
One second. If I said,
You know what insult is?
well,
You know what insult is?
Listen. My book says test the spirit.
Do you know what insult is? Insult.
I know what insult.
What is it? Insult. Give me an example of an insult.
Okay. If you swear is an insult.
Right. Did we swear on your God?
If you degrade somebody is an insult.
Did we swear about your God in a derogatory way?
You degrade my God. You say he's not God.
Did we swear on your God in a bad way?
No, not at the moment. Not at this
Right.
time.
So in this discussion,
Did I swear?
we have not.
Did I swear?
Did you not insult
You insult
our
the
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
So please,
What did I
listen,
say?
listen.
What did I say?
I will not repeat it.
What did I
please-
say?
But please, do you want to listen? You're asking, yeah? Okay. Now, please, if you wanted to speak to us in having a fruitful and academic discussion, leave the insult on the side and let us deal with the facts, yeah? So let's deal with things point by point. We have discussed about, I told you what the ahruf means, so hopefully you watch the video again and see what we were saying about the ahruf. And I told you, you asked the question that did Jibreel alayhi salam said to the Prophet on these ahruf, this recitation, and I told you that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he confirmed in the front of this companion, and the companion, they were not one person or two or three, they were 120,000 people at the Hajjat al-Wada', 120,000 people. Many of them, they were clever people, educated people, knowledgeable people, people who used to memorize their tribes. They memorized a lot of things, and yet when the Quran came to them, they knew it came from God. So you are not more knowledgeable than them in the Arabic language, yeah, because they are the people of the language. You are not more knowledgeable than them in the Arabic language, which they have accepted, and which they have accepted the Quran. Secondly, you are not as well, you didn't know the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam the way that they know him. Do you think that the person, if he is a liar and known to be liar, do you think the people will accept him? No. And as simple as that. Because if he's known to be a liar, if he's known to be someone who's not truthful, they will not follow him. So that's basically for that. So let's go back to our discussion. Now here, we have discussed about the Quran. I think we have given you enough things. Now for us, my concern is the people who wrote the Gospels in the Bible. That's my concern. And this is a question which I wanted to raise it with you. If you could help me, you're an expert, as
Will
you
you
know.
give me time to speak, please?
I will. But I wanted you to discuss this, please. So
When?
now. So please, can you tell me who narrated from those ones who wrote these Gospels, and how we know that it came truly from Jesus?
You have to give me time to speak up,
Now
to
it's your
respond to
time.
yours.
It is your time.
Thank you.
Sure.
First of all, you saying I have insulted your prophet. If it is so, I apologize to everybody. To Muhammad, to his believers.
That's good.
Here,
That's good from
there,
you.
on
That's
those
good
who
from
watching
you.
on
It is good from you.
from this.
That's good from you.
Sometimes discussion hits up
Yeah.
and we get out of control.
Yeah.
That's happened. I really do apologize for a human mistake. But for
problem.
the sake of discussions, there are times I must raise the point. I must say my concerns. Why I come to this point? Because my Bible says, test the spirit. If the spirit does not confirm the Messiah is the Son of God, he is not from God. We know Muhammad said he's the Messiah, but he didn't say he is the Son of God. So I have to really examine what he says, other things. Does he really match my Bible? I have many points which I struggle to understand from my so-called Holy Bible. And maybe Muhammad had the same issue, right? And there are many Christians.
Don't force your ignorance on other people. Right? Just leave your ignorance to yourself.
One second. Even there are many Christians today, i.e. Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't believe Jesus was God, he was eternal. I respect at that point. The problem is, I'm discussing how this Quran was revealed to Muhammad, and then the content of it, which relate to my Bible. there was a very good hadith to recite. They are reading, they are not reading. Because they are reading, the consonant is not the issue. So that is not applicable. In different ways. When both of them went to Muhammad confirmed the both of them. Apparently there was a differences, whether it's accentual or whatever you want to call, I don't know. There was a difference. Muhammad confirmed both of them. And he said even, not two, these two, even 7. Now I have 2 free questions. Where are the 7s? Don't exist. And then secondly, is there evidence if Muhammad was reciting the same chapter in 7 different ways? There is no evidence. Right? If it's not Muhammad, is there evidence Gabriel was talking to Muhammad at the second time with the same chapter in a different way? We don't have evidence. I don't have it. If you have it, give it to me.
Yes, he just gave it to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Where were you all that time?
Gabriel,
Where were you all that time when he was explaining?
well, the question is, do you have evidence Gabriel was speaking
first of all,
if it was so, I said that. There is
Did he
another
give you time?
hadith.
Did he give you time?
Wait, 1 second. I'm going to finish. There is another hadith. Muhammad and his companions, they slept over the night. In the morning when they woke up, they forgot probably half of the surah or maybe all of it. If Jibreel was such an angel, he can recite again and they will remember. Why didn't happen or that happened? Okay. So the authenticity that was recited through the chain of narration is very controversial.
No.
You don't have evidence.
Okay.
That's very clear.
Okay. Did you finish?
I never had that.
Did you
It's
finish?
nowhere.
Did you finish?
Now today
Did you finish?
I have in my hands there are 26 different, either consonantal, most of them are vowel differences.
Okay. Did you finish?
Which in the time of Muhammad there were no vowels. If you have 70 Qurans, which one of them is in Lahu Mahfuz?
All of them. And there's no 7 different Qurans. There's one Quran.
Why we don't have one?
Okay.
Why we don't have the name?
Did you finish your point?
He keeps repeating 7 Quran, 7
First
Quran.
of
As if
all,
like this is...
that
you
is-
don't-
hold
you
on a
don't
second.
give the answer.
Okay, now. First of all, that is not the answer of my question. My question wasn't that. Even though you went away from the question, and I will repeat my answer again, and this is my last time. Please do, because the thing is, you get me tired on this. You asked how we know if we have evidence that the Prophet ﷺ, it was revealed to him. Is the same hadith that you said. Those 2 companions, they were reciting, so they came to the Prophet ﷺ, and he responded to them in the same manner. He said to the first one, he said that's how it was revealed to me. So from Jibreel, he confirmed it came to him from Jibreel, he revealed to him from Allah. The second one, he confirmed the second one. So those companions, the question is not here. Those 2
The question,
Oh,
companions.
do you have the evidence for that?
Focus.
The same.
Pay attention.
Yeah. Here the evidence that the companion who narrated this, they were happy about the answer of the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah. Why? Because they knew this is not contradiction. Yeah. Is completing one another. It doesn't contradict.
Do you have evidence Muhammad was reading same surah in 2 different ways?
Good.
It's not.
Listen, I will answer.
He's not paying
The same
attention, is he?
hadith that you
It's
brought.
not. It's
the
not. You
same-
don't.
hold on a second.
If you have, let me study.
Okay, good. The same hadith that you
Can you
brought.
give
Hold on a second. The same
You see,
hadith.
you quiet, yeah?
Hold on a second, please.
I congratulate you.
All right.
Sorry,
okay.
one sec.
The same hadith.
Whenever you speak and I
Yeah.
keep quiet,
Yeah.
he takes the
By
card.
the way,
Oh, I'm keeping
the one
quiet.
who's answering you. Yeah.
Listen to him. He's
So
answering.
I am answering you. So what is the beginning of the hadith? That Umar al-Khattab.
Look at him.
Umar al-Khattab. He was in a masjid. Yeah. And someone was praying beside him. This person was reciting in a way that it appears to Umar al-Khattab is not the way that he learned from the Prophet ﷺ. So he asked him, where did you learn this from? That's evidence. You said what's evidence? He said, Muhammad
Listen carefully with
he
your ears.
taught me. Muhammad ﷺ, he taught me. And then he said, no, he taught me something else.
Thank you.
So, okay, good, yeah. So he taught me some different way. So they came to the Prophet ﷺ, both of them. And then they said to him, the Prophet ﷺ asked him the same question. So that's evidence that they heard it from the Prophet ﷺ. Both of them, They heard it from the Prophet. You ask where's the evidence? That's the same one. The same one. The same evidence. No? So he went. Okay. So I think if she come here, if she continue here, by the way,
she's not invited.
Because she's not invited. Because we. Anyway,
Go somewhere else.
So here the Prophet ﷺ, he said he confirmed.
You can talk to her if you want.
Now, and both of them,
you can talk to her.
Accepted the answer of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, that's not my question. My initial question to you. Are you associated with her? Do you associate with her? Are you associated with her? Are you associated with her? Good. That's good. Because
pay attention.
For us, she is a head preacher, by the way. And due to this, she is a head preacher, by the way. And
can you listen to all the screeching in the background?
Do you have evidence? Jibreel speaking was reading in two different ways.
Okay. I have answered that. Now, my initial question is to you, as follows. A'udhu billah. Yes.
Sheikh, do you have evidence? Jibreel was reciting in two different ways, or seven.
The same hadith.
Where is it?
The same hadith.
So either
the same one.
Does the meaning change?
Yeah, the same hadith. Let's go back.
It doesn't change the
Okay.
So it doesn't make
That's fine. We don't move too far. That's one.
do you have an ayah? Do you have an ayah or a hadith that Jibreel was reading or speaking to Muhammad in 7 different ways?
Good.
Do you have it?
So
Yes.
the Prophet
Where is it? I want to read.
now,
Where is it?
Now
If you don't have it, Muhammad was corrupting it. Thank you.
Okay,
If this is an insult,
again, you cannot say
well, I'll leave it to you.
No, you can't say that. Now again,
Just stop screeching and screaming in our ears, right?
Different versions of Surah 25.
he said it was revealed to me in the same way.
Sir,
Now that's not the
what
point.
are those
My
two
point
different
is,
versions?
I showed to you in the debate that we had. Go back and refresh your memory.
You look awesome when you lie.
Refresh your memory.
What are those two?
Hashim, I know
I'm
you.
not Hashim.
listen,
Okay, I'm sorry.
He's so triggered by Hashim.
No.
Hashim is giving you a nightmare.
Mansur, I know you go love your
Listen,
thousand books in your possession.
Listen, don't talk me ears. Can you stay here, my brother? Oh, yes. My ears are getting like. Right. Right.
come surround us here.
I know you got thousand books in your possessions.
Listen.
Do you have the evidence?
Did you focus and pay attention when the Sheikh was explaining the answer to you?
Yeah, I have, but I didn't get my answer.
But he was answering.
Listen,
so you weren't paying attention.
I know you have access of thousand books. Do you have a quote that Jibreel was speaking to Muhammad
I'll make
in
it
7
easier for you.
different
For the
ways?
last time, we'll make
Do you
it
have
easier
the
for you.
quote or not?
Okay, I'm going to answer now.
I'm waiting for the answer.
I'm going to answer.
Next
now,
week,
listen,
say
listen,
no.
listen now,
what
right
is your
now,
source? Give me
right
the
now,
quote.
listen. When the
By the
Prophet
way, can I
said,
say something? Because
تفضل.
I respect that you are not associating with them. That's something which is respectful.
She's not related.
Yeah, you're gonna get totally confused like them if you associate with them.
I don't
right?
do it. I do theology. I don't talk about. I'm sorry that the murderers and pedophiles are. I'm sorry, my language. I don't do that. I do the logic and the theology. It has to make logic.
Very good.
It has
Stay away from these hate preachers.
It has
Good,
to make
good.
logic. You have to have the academic. You have to have the source.
Very good.
Is what I'm
so
asking.
now, thank you. So to continue now, when the Prophet confirmed this was how it was revealed, how does he normally get his revelation from? Who reveals it to him? Angel Jibreel alayhi salam. So when the Prophet said this was how it was revealed, we know Angel Jibreel alayhi salam reveals to him. So he doesn't have to say, oh, this is how Jibreel revealed to me. He just needs to say this is how it was revealed. Because the mode of revelation is through Jibreel alayhi salam. So when he said, this is how it was revealed to you in English or Kurdish or what other language? Turkish, it's like this. This is how it was revealed to me by Angel Jibreel from our Lord Allah Jalla wa Ala. Right? This is how God revealed through Angel Jibreel to me this surah. He confirmed for both of them. So that means the same hadith is an evidence against you in reply to your question that yes, Angel Jibreel taught him like that.
Mansur.
So having answered your question for so many different times and so many different ways, if you still have problems comprehending the answer, I suggest we park this question and answer here now and return to the question the Sheikh asked. How do you have this confidence in the books that you read, which is supposedly from Jesus Christ, when you don't have the originals?
That's my question. If you could answer my question, this.
My evidence,
That
I'm
was my
expecting
question.
probably, 1 second. I'm expecting probably it could be two different ways. Either somebody might have heard Jibreel.
Oh no, we finished that.
Wait.
No more. We finished that.
I'm proposing.
We are just
Wait,
going
wait,
around
wait,
in the
wait.
same. Going in the same.
This discussion is closed. Next question.
One
Next
second.
Please listen.
I'm saying somebody may have heard Jibreel
no.
is reading the same surah more than
No
one
names
ways to
Jibreel.
Muhammad.
No one repeats Jibreel doesn't repeat except the Prophet.
Or it could have been somebody witnessed or listened to Muhammad, the same surah was reading in different ways.
You don't know how the Quran was
Yeah.
revealed, do you? You haven't got a clue.
Since,
So
thank
would you like to know how the
Thank
Quran
you.
was revealed to the
Since
Prophet?
we don't have the
Would you
record,
like to know
we
how
don't
the
have the
Quran was
record
revealed
of
to the
none of
Prophet?
them. How can I believe?
Would you like to know what we believe how the Quran was revealed to our Prophet ﷺ through Angel Jibreel? Alayhi salam? Obviously you don't know.
Well,
So you don't
prove
know.
it. You prove it.
No, not proof. You don't even know
How
the
do you find-
I'm
basics.
killing you. Try to
You are
understand.
probably more educated than me in Islam.
No, you don't even know the basics of our
That's what you are
belief.
saying.
And you are asking
Prove
questions.
How comes is more than 7? Where is the source? It's not written nowhere else.
Okay.
The hadith
Listen.
standalone, unique.
Sheikh, some people
Enough
don't
reading.
get it.
I think we have done that. I have covered it, and then we had enough.
So,
And I
do you
told
understand?
I told you.
Can you admit you don't have evidence?
I
Mansur,
told you.
do
We
you have
admit
evidence?
that you do not comprehend what we say.
I don't have
That's
to
what we
comprehend.
admit.
I'm a Christian.
That's
What
what.
we are
Oh,
doing-
very good answer. He's a Christian. He doesn't have to
I'm asking you
comprehend.
the evidence, so I can study and I come back to you.
Okay, good.
Do you have the evidence?
We have to finish it?
Listen,
Do you have the evidence? No.
listen, my question
Thank you.
is to you. The evidence.
Answer his question.
Thank you. Love.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll come
You
back to
win. You win in your own confusion.
Thank you.
Yes. Well done for your confusion.
Next, please.
Well done for your confusion. Remain in the confusion if you want
Okay.
to. But if you want to be enlightened, then
All right.
just focus and pay attention to what we said.
That the Prophet ﷺ, and that's to show how Quran is great. That the Quran accommodated even the way of speech of the Arabs at that time. The way that how they speak. This is the seven ahruf. In order for them to accept the revelation of Islam. First of all. Secondly, and it doesn't. The amazing thing, it doesn't contradict. It is so sophisticated that it came in amazing and miraculous way, which it doesn't contradict. That's one thing. For example, as I said to you, فَتَبَيَّنُوا فَتَثَبَّتُوا, it completes one another rather than contradict. That's one thing. The other thing that the Prophet ﷺ confirmed the way of recitation, that it was revealed to him from Jibreel alayhi salam with this hadith. And he confirmed to Umar al-Khattab that it came to him. Umar al-Khattab was genius man in terms of intellectual ability, was genius man. He was he was supposed to be, and he became the leader of his tribe. He was the spokesman of Quraysh. That he was Khatib, subhanallah. So he was someone very clever person. When he heard the Prophet ﷺ, why did he accept what the Prophet ﷺ said? That shows, because he knows that the Quran came from Allah Azza wa Jalla, and he knows the truthfulness of the Prophet ﷺ, even though he was the enemy of the Prophet ﷺ before. But when he accepted Islam, and when he accepted the Quran came from Allah Azza wa Jalla, and the Quran is miracle by itself, that's why when he heard that it was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ in both ways, he accepted that. And the Prophet ﷺ, he elaborated, he said that the Quran revealed in 7 ahruf. And these 7 ahruf, sometimes taqdeem and ta'khir, means bring forward the verb, and then the noun, and sometimes as well the plural and the singular. It depends how it is, but here it shows that the Quran is so amazing that it accommodates all of that. And as well, when Uthman radiallahu anhu, when he gathered the Quran the second time, and then he made this committee to write the Quran, how it was revealed, and he accepted 2 witnesses for each single verse. Which, subhanallah, each single verse, not just a surah, you have to bring 2 witnesses to support you.
A chapter, a verse.
A verse, not a chapter. 2 witnesses that to say that yes, he has heard it from the Prophet ﷺ. One person has to bring another person. which means one person he doesn't accept one verse. That man who came with that verse, I forget his name, the name of the Sahabi.
Khuzaymah bin Sabit al-Ansari.
Khuzaymah al-Ansari. Khuzaymah al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu. Why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam he accepted? Why the Uthman radiyallahu anhu and the Sahaba they accepted his testimony? Because one day a dispute between the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and a Jew. The Jew man, he said to him, "No, I give you about the money that about a debt or something." And then he said, "Who's your witnesses?" That the Jew he was oppressing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he wanted to take his right. And then he said the Prophet he didn't have witnesses at that time. Khuzaymah radiyallahu anhu, he said, "I witness that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he's right." When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when that man left, he said, "We were not there." He said to me, "I believe you beyond this. I believe you from information, from the knowledge came from Allah Azza wa Jal. How will you lie to us about these dunya matters?" Alayhi salatu wasalam, hasha. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said about him, "Your testimony is true. Your testimony is true." When it was needed, because here وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ, that shows this is the prophethood, the prophecy from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he only needed this testimony when that ayah, when he said, "I heard it from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam," and then the Sahaba they said, "Yes, we hear the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that this man, his testimony is true." And then the Sahaba they have accepted that verse and they wrote it how it was. And Uthman radiallahu anhu, he said, if there is a dispute, you write it in the way of Quraysh, because in order not to have dispute on the Quran, and that to show that the Quran is, subhanallah, it is exactly how it was revealed on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and not just that. And these 10 qira'at, it contains all these 7 ahruf. The 10 qira'at, which is nowadays being recited, it contains all these 7 ahruf. And anyone wanted to learn all these seven ahruf, let him memorize and learn the 10 qira'at, and then he will understand, and then he will have, subhanallah, the full revelation, which is of the Quran. He will have the whole, he will have all these 7 ahruf. So we urge everyone, if you are learning the Quran, learn all ahruf and try to understand the Quran. Learn the Quran and read the Quran. And subhanallah, the Quran not just was preserved by written, it was as well, it is preserved by memorization. The first generation of the Sahaba memorized the Quran and followed the follow generation until nowadays. We have 12 million people on earth. They memorize the Quran from cover to cover. Amazingly, vast majority of them are non-Arabs. What book could be memorized by 12 million people on earth? Subhanallah. It's the Quran, the book of Allah, because Allah says in the Quran, "Inna nahnu nazzalna adh-dhikr wa inna lahu lahafidhun." We have sent down the remembrance, the Quran, and we'll be preserving it. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect us, and we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to be amongst those who follow the Quran.
The Qira'ah does not change the meaning of the Quran.
No?
No. But for different societies of that time, it was a different understanding, so that they could understand it easier. Is that correct?
It is this how they speak.
It's like a dialect.
It's like kitab and kutub, for example. Like fatabayyanu fatathabbatu.
Like poor people, rich people, there's all different societies.
Yeah, that's how, for example, the people will understand it in this way. Sometimes the people will understand the structure of the sentence. The structure of the sentence, sometimes that, bring forward, for example, certain, the noun before the verb and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So the structure of the sentence, it is easier. Like, for example, different people.
For example, a posh person or a poor person will understand it differently.
You understand differently.
Yeah.
So all these things,
change the meaning.
Quran accommodated all of them in an amazing way.
MashaAllah. Allahu Akbar. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair. Allah barak. Jazakallah khair.